Dear Dad, growing up without you wasn't easy. In fact, I didn't grow up with either of my real parents. I was raised by people I wasn't even related to. And even though my mother was still present in my life, I never lived with her. That alone made things feel distant and complicated. Things were hard financially too. My mom never went to get government help to support me. She's always been very independent and didn't want anyone thinking she couldn't manage on her own. Because of that, there were times when things were rough. But through it all, I had someone who stepped up. My stepfather may not be my biological dad, but in my heart, he's been a real father figure. Even though I didn't live with him and my mom, he always made sure I had my school books and everything I needed. He supported me in ways that helped shape the person I've become. Still, there were moments, quiet ones, when I would wonder about you. At one point, I even asked myself if maybe you had passed away and I just didn't know of it. I had no connection to you or anyone around you, and that made it feel like you were completely gone from my world. I never really cried about it constantly because I had someone who did fill the role in some way, but I'd be lying if I said I never broke down over it, especially when life felt heavy or I was just tired of feeling that empty space. To be honest, I can't say I really missed you growing up because I didn't know you at all. You went away when I was just about 3 years old, and I have no memory of ever seeing or connecting with you. For most of my life, you were just a name I heard, not an actual person I knew. But even with all that, I did feel a longing, a curiosity. I wondered who you were, what kind of person you might be, and whether you ever thought about me. At times, I felt like maybe you just didn't want to be a part of my life. I later learned that you had tried to reach out, but back then I wasn't sure if it was genuinely you. There's nothing specific I've always wanted to say, but I do have hopes. I hope that over these past 15, 16, 17 years, you've taken the time to reflect on your actions and the choices that led you to where you are. I hope you've thought about how those choices didn't just affect you, they affected your children also. And more than anything, I hope that when you do get your taste of freedom again, you'll come out different, better, stronger. I hope you'll use whatever time you have left to do good, to stay free, and to make your life mean something outside of those walls. You still have a chance to turn things around for yourself and for those who care.
Yeah, that was
Whoa.
really insightful comment. We don't. Can you tell us
Not only
who's?
that, she tap him up.
No,
Yeah.
I mean in all respects, yeah, very insightful and good advice too.
Imagine you as a senior person listening, your child is telling you this.
Yeah,
Still tell us about this one.
Now,
sage
the
advice.
backstory to this is a unique story because she met him for the first time at the age of 16 in prison. The story was that we went to a mentorship program in a school, and during the break time, a student came to me and asked. She said, "If we work in maximum security?" I said, "Yes." She said she have a friend with a question. Saw this girl coming, tears in her eyes, and she said that she asked me his name. "Do you know that person?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Well, she was told that's her father, but she never met him. And she want to know how possible it is that she could visit him." So after the program, we contacted the commissioner at the time, and he contacted the welfare department, and they arranged for a visit. And they met for the first time 2 years ago in prison. So he knew she exists, but she was told from a tender age her father died. And she said that at about 12 or 13 years, her mom told her the truth that your father is in prison. But she don't know which one of the prison he in. And she said she tried a couple of times and was no help. So, but by chance that day, we just happened to be there. And she was brave enough to ask the question. Happened to be working MSP, know who the guy was. and we arranged and they met. So every Father's Day from since then, she visit him. But she said that she would like to get to know him better, but all she knows is prison life with him. And
And the best part about that, though, is the first time they met, I think she completely forgave him. Because
One
she
time.
was, automatically. Because, I mean, she's seen her father for the first time. I think she was one of the happiest child then. I mean, you see it on her face, she cried. And she just held on to her father like, if you know what I mean, like, oh my God, it's like the best thing ever. And, you know, as I said, as Mr. Steele said, that was 2 years ago. And that relationship remained. You know, she always comes and visits him. And every time she comes, it's like, you know, like she just can't wait for him to come out to build that relationship.
she told us that she had $1,200 saving in the bank for something special. And she took it out that day and she brought it.
And she
Spend
spent
her
it on
father.
him.
With no, she was just happy
Yeah.
to do that. All her money from the bank, she withdraw it. I said, yeah, leave her $20 herself.
Nothing. She just
So
said
she took
wanted
all,
to
she
spend on her
worked with it
father.
and she spent all on it.
That is very rare, though.
Yes.
For a child growing up thinking that your father has passed away, and then learning that he's alive but he's in prison, and who wanting to meet him. Was he aware that she was told he had died?
He knew at the time that the mother, they separated. They didn't want nothing to do with each other.
Right.
So being macho, he said, all right, she had a new husband at the time, so let him mind that child. That was his exact words.
Okay.
And he said that he thought about it, but he never made no attempt
Right.
to
And I gave up on that.
to give
that
up on that.
relationship.
Yeah.
Wow. But
And
she's an amazing human being to
Yes.
so the,
open herself
the,
up to
the,
that.
the, what she asked that day is if we not tell him that she was coming. So we tell him, hey, you have a visit, you dress up, everything comfort, expecting to meet somebody else.
Mm.
And met her
And I suppose he broke down as well.
broke
Yes.
down
Okay.
in tears.
Wow.
How long is he in for?
He in prison for the last, I think, 16 years.
Mm.
Yeah, I think he makes 16 years already.
I think within 2 years he'll be leaving
Yeah.
prison. So,
Okay.
Wow. That's an amazing story.
Wow.
Yeah, and the advice that she gave, now what she said to her father was really, like I say, sage advice, sage words of wisdom from someone so young.
you know, most of the times we always hear about the persons incarcerated, but we never really hear about their families and how it has, you know, they being incarcerated, how it has affected their family. So that's why we wanted to do something different. So now hearing, I mean, Adish, for the first time when Adish heard, we had to kind of compose Adish, hearing from his daughter what his daughter had to say. And we told her, you know, say what you want to say. Don't feel bad, don't hold back. And she said exactly what she wanted to say from age 5 till this age, how she missed her father. And we might think that at age 5, I mean, how much does a child remember or knows? And she said from age 5, that heartbreak till now. And the other person as well, when you heard she gave her father advice, be a better person when you come out, be a better man. So now we are seeing the important role of fathers, you know, and a lot of fathers take it for granted. So sitting back and think about this, I think it will make you think twice, 10 times before you even actually do something.
Absolutely. And even if for those who are stepping in, because she mentioned her stepfather as well, who played that role for her. Even if you are stepping into someone else's shoes, you have to do your best as well and provide and protect as best you can. But do not, I'm glad that no one had, you know, encouraged her not to make that approach to her birth father, and that she went through with it. You know, she was clearly determined to develop that relationship because it's something that she missed, even despite having a stepfather who was, you know, providing and loving. It was a connection that she missed.